Hello, and welcome to Learn English Daily. I'm Alex. Today, we're going to learn English through a story. But this is not just a story. It is also a speaking and shadowing practice. First, you'll listen to a simple story. Then we'll learn useful vocabulary and expressions from the story. I'll explain them in clear, simple English. After that, you'll practice them with me. So don't worry if you don't understand every word the first time. Just listen, follow the story, and let the meaning become clear, step by step. The story you're going to hear today is called The Mysterious Package. Let's begin. It was a quiet Monday morning in a small apartment building. Mia lived on the third floor with her cat, Milo. She had lived there for almost 2 years. She liked the building because it was quiet, clean, and close to her workplace. Every morning, Mia woke up at 7. She made coffee. She opened the window, and then she got ready for work. But one Monday morning, something unusual happened. When Mia opened her apartment door, she saw a small brown package on the floor. There was no note. There was no name on it. There was only her apartment number. Mia looked at the package carefully. She didn't remember ordering anything. She picked it up. It was surprisingly light. She shook it gently. Something moved inside. Mia stopped. She looked at the package again. What is this? She didn't want to open something that didn't belong to her. So she took it inside and put it on the kitchen table. Then she checked her phone. Maybe she had forgotten about an order. She opened her email. Nothing. She checked her shopping apps. Nothing. She even checked her bank account. There was no recent purchase. The package was still a mystery. Mia looked at the clock. She was going to be late for work. So, she decided to leave it on the table and think about it later. She put on her shoes, grabbed her bag, and left the apartment. As she walked down the stairs, she saw an older man standing near the entrance. It was Mr. Harris, one of her neighbors. He lived on the first floor. "Good morning, Mia," he said. "Good morning," she replied. Mr. Harris looked at her for a moment. Then he asked, "Did you find something outside your apartment?" Mia stopped. "Yes, a small package." Mr. Harris looked surprised. "Was there a name on it?" "No, only my apartment number." Mr. Harris thought for a moment. "That's strange." "I know," Mia said. "Did you order anything?" "No, that's the problem." Mr. Harris smiled. "Maybe someone sent you a gift." Mia laughed. "Maybe. But I don't know who would send me a gift." Mr. Harris looked toward the stairs. "Well, be careful." "Why?" He lowered his voice. "Because I saw someone in the building last night." Mia became curious. "Someone you didn't know?" "Yes." "What did he look like?" Mr. Harris thought for a moment. "He was wearing a dark jacket and a hat." "Did you speak to him?" "No. He left before I could ask him anything." Mia looked at the package in her mind. A stranger. A mysterious package. No name. It suddenly seemed much more interesting. But she still had to go to work. "I'll check it when I get home," she said. "Good idea," Mr. Harris replied. Mia walked outside. As she made her way to work, she kept thinking about the package. Maybe it was nothing. Maybe someone had made a mistake. Maybe it was a gift. Or maybe someone had put it outside the wrong apartment. She tried to forget about it, but she couldn't. At work, Mia was a little distracted. She opened her computer. She answered some emails. She joined a meeting. But every few minutes, she thought about the package. During lunch, she called her friend, Daniel. "I have a strange problem," she said. Daniel laughed. "What happened?" "I found a package outside my apartment this morning." "Okay, but I didn't order anything. Maybe it's a gift." "That's what my neighbor said." "So, what's the problem?" There was no name on it. Daniel became quiet. "That's a little strange." "Exactly. Did you open it?" "No." "Why not?" "Because it doesn't belong to me." Daniel thought for a moment. "That's probably the right thing to do." Mia smiled. "Thank you for your expert advice." "You're welcome." They both laughed. But after the call ended, Mia still felt uneasy. At around 5:30, she left work. When she arrived at her building, she noticed something unusual. The front door was open. That was strange, because the door normally locked automatically. Mia walked inside. The building was quiet. She looked toward the stairs. Nobody was there. Then she noticed a small piece of paper on the floor. She picked it up. There were 3 words written on it. Apartment 3. Tonight. Mia's heart started beating faster. Apartment 3 was her apartment. She looked around. The building was still empty. She quickly put the paper in her bag. Then she went upstairs. When she reached her apartment, she stopped outside the door. The package was still inside. She could see it through the small window in the door. Everything looked normal. Mia unlocked the door and went inside. She put her bag on the chair. Then she walked slowly toward the kitchen. The package was still on the table, but now there was something next to it. A small silver key. Mia stared at it. She had never seen the key before. She picked it up. It was old, and attached to it was a small piece of paper. This time, there was only one sentence. "Some things are better found than bought." Mia read the sentence twice. She had no idea what it meant. She looked at the package. Then she looked at the key. For a few seconds, she simply stood there. Finally, she decided to open the package. Very carefully, she removed the tape. Inside, there was a small wooden box. The box was old and covered with scratches. Mia opened it. There was no money, no jewelry, no expensive gift. There was only a photograph. Mia picked it up. It showed a young woman standing in front of the same apartment building. Mia looked at the photograph carefully. The woman looked familiar. Very familiar, but Mia couldn't remember where she had seen her before. Then she turned the photograph over. There was a name written on the back. Anna. Under the name was a date, 20 years earlier. Mia felt confused. Who was Anna? Why had someone sent her this photograph? And what did the key open? She looked at the old wooden box again. There was a small lock on the side. Mia tried the key. It fit perfectly. She turned it slowly. Click. The box opened again. But this time, a small hidden compartment appeared underneath the photograph. Inside was another piece of paper. Mia unfolded it. It said, "If you found this, ask Mr. Harris about the blue door." Mia froze. Mr. Harris, her neighbor, the blue door. She suddenly remembered something. There was an old blue door in the basement of the building. She had never seen anyone use it. She had always assumed it was locked. Mia looked at the clock. It was almost 7. She picked up the key. Then she walked toward the stairs. She didn't know what she was going to find. But she knew one thing. This was no ordinary package. Now, let's stop the story for a moment. Before we continue, let's learn some useful English from what you've just heard. The first expression is unusual. Unusual means something that is not normal or common. For example, it was an unusual morning. Repeat. It was an unusual morning. Good. Here's another example. That's an unusual question. Repeat. That's an unusual question. Excellent. The next word is package. A package is something wrapped or placed in a box that is sent to someone. For example, my package arrived this morning. Repeat. My package arrived this morning. Good. Now, I received a small package. Your turn. I received a small package. Excellent. The next expression is, I don't remember ordering it. We use this when something arrives that we don't remember buying. Listen, I don't remember ordering it. Now, repeat. I don't remember ordering it. Again, I don't remember ordering it. Very good. Here's another useful expression. That's strange. We say this when something seems unusual or unexpected. Repeat. That's strange. Good. Now try. That's a little strange. Your turn. That's a little strange. Excellent. The next word is stranger. A stranger is someone you don't know. For example, I saw a stranger outside the building. Repeat. I saw a stranger outside the building. Good. Now, I don't know that man. He's a stranger. Repeat. I don't know that man. He's a stranger. The next expression is be careful. This is a very common way to warn someone. Repeat. Be careful. You can also say, be careful with that. Your turn. Be careful with that. Now, let's look at distracted. If you are distracted, you cannot give your full attention to something because you're thinking about something else. For example, I was distracted at work. Repeat. I was distracted at work. Or, I was too distracted to concentrate. Your turn. I was too distracted to concentrate. Excellent. The next word is uneasy. Uneasy means slightly worried or uncomfortable. For example, I felt uneasy when I saw the empty building. Repeat. I felt uneasy when I saw the empty building. You can also say, the situation made me feel uneasy. Repeat. The situation made me feel uneasy. Now, let's practice. Look around. It means to look in different directions or examine the area around you. Repeat. I looked around the room. Now, she looked around before opening the door. Your turn. She looked around before opening the door. Very good. The next word is basement. A basement is a level of a building that is below the ground floor. Repeat. There is a basement under the building. Now, the old door was in the basement. Your turn. The old door was in the basement. Excellent. And finally, a hidden compartment. A hidden compartment is a secret space inside something where you can keep an object. Repeat. There was a hidden compartment in the box. Good. Again. There was a hidden compartment in the box. Excellent. Now let's shadow some of the most useful sentences from the story. Listen first. I don't remember ordering anything. Now, repeat. I don't remember ordering anything. Good. Next. That's a little strange. Your turn. That's a little strange. Next. I had never seen the key before. Repeat. I had never seen the key before. Next. I had no idea what it meant. Your turn. I had no idea what it meant. Excellent. And one more. This was no ordinary package. Now, repeat. This was no ordinary package. Very good. You are not only learning vocabulary, you are learning how to use these expressions in complete sentences. And that is what makes them easier to remember. Now let's return to the story. Mia was standing at the bottom of the stairs. The basement was only one floor below her. She held the old key tightly in her hand. Then she heard a sound. Someone was walking behind her. She turned around. Nobody was there. Mia waited. Silence. Then she heard it again. Footsteps. Slow footsteps. Coming from the hallway. She quickly walked toward the basement door. The footsteps became louder. Mia put the key into the lock. She turned it. The door opened. She stepped inside. Then she closed the door quietly behind her. The basement was dark. There was only a small window near the ceiling. Mia used her phone as a light. She looked around. Old boxes were everywhere. There were broken chairs, old furniture, and several large shelves. Then she saw it. At the back of the room, there was a blue door. Mia walked toward it. She held the key in front of the lock. And, slowly, she put it inside. The key turned easily. The blue door opened. Mia stood still for a moment. She expected to find an empty room. Instead, she saw a small office. There was an old desk near the wall. On the desk were several photographs, a notebook, and a small lamp. Mia walked closer. She picked up one of the photographs. It showed Anna, the same woman from the package. But this time, Anna was standing beside a young man. Mia looked at the man. Then she understood. The man was Mr. Harris. Mia stared at the photograph. Mr. Harris had been much younger, but there was no doubt. It was him. Suddenly, the basement door opened. Mia turned around. Mr. Harris was standing there. For a few seconds, neither of them spoke. Then he said quietly, "So you found it." Mia looked at him. "You sent the package." Mr. Harris nodded. "Yes." "Why?" He walked slowly toward the desk. "Because I couldn't keep the secret anymore." Mia looked confused. "What secret?" Mr. Harris picked up the old photograph. "Anna was my sister." Mia looked at the picture again. "Your sister?" "Yes. She lived in this building many years ago." He took a deep breath. "She left something here before she moved away." "What?" Mr. Harris smiled. The truth about something that happened 20 years ago. Mia looked at the notebook. What happened? Mr. Harris opened it. Inside were old letters and photographs. He explained that many years earlier, Anna had discovered that the building's owner had secretly taken money from several residents. She had collected evidence. But before she could tell anyone, she left the city. She had hidden the evidence in the Blue Room. Why did you wait 20 years? Mia asked. Because I was afraid, he said. Afraid of what? Afraid that nobody would believe me. Mia looked at the notebook. Then she understood why he had chosen her. You wanted me to find it. Mr. Harris nodded. I needed someone I could trust. Mia smiled. You could have just asked me. I know, he said. But then it wouldn't have been much of a mystery. Mia laughed. For the first time that evening, she felt completely relaxed. She looked at the old box in her hand. So what happens now? Mr. Harris closed the notebook. Now we find out what happened. Mia looked at the Blue Room. It was old. It was dusty. It was full of forgotten memories. But the mystery was finally over. And sometimes the most interesting things are not the things we buy, but the things we discover. Now let's practice some useful expressions from the final part of the story. The first expression is, I had never seen it before. We use this when something is completely new to us. Repeat, I had never seen it before. Good. Here's another example. I had never been inside that room before. Repeat, I had never been inside that room before. Excellent. The next expression is, there was no doubt. It means you were completely sure about something. Repeat, there was no doubt. Now, there was no doubt that it was him. Your turn. There was no doubt that it was him. Excellent. The next phrase is, take a deep breath. We use this when someone needs to calm down or prepare for something. Repeat. Take a deep breath. Now, she took a deep breath before opening the door. Your turn. She took a deep breath before opening the door. Excellent. Here's another useful expression. I couldn't keep the secret anymore. Repeat. I couldn't keep the secret anymore. Good. And I was afraid to tell anyone. Your turn. I was afraid to tell anyone. Now, let's practice. I needed someone I could trust. Repeat. I needed someone I could trust. Excellent. This is a very natural expression. You can use it when talking about friends, co-workers, family members, or anyone you feel comfortable depending on. Now, let's shadow a short conversation from the story. Listen first. So you found it? Yes. You sent the package. Yes, I did. Why? Because I needed someone I could trust. Now repeat. So you found it? Yes. You sent the package. Yes, I did. Why? Because I needed someone I could trust. Excellent. Now let's practice the story vocabulary one more time. Listen and repeat. A package. Your turn. A package. A stranger. Repeat. A stranger. A basement. Your turn. A basement. A hidden compartment. Repeat. A hidden compartment. An unusual situation. Your turn. An unusual situation. Excellent. Now let's practice complete sentences. I received an unexpected package. Repeat. I received an unexpected package. Good. I saw a stranger outside the building. Your turn. I saw a stranger outside the building. Excellent! There was a hidden compartment inside the box. Repeat. There was a hidden compartment inside the box. Very good. I felt uneasy when I heard the footsteps. Your turn. I felt uneasy when I heard the footsteps. Excellent. I needed someone I could trust. Repeat. I needed someone I could trust. Now let's do one final shadowing practice. This time, listen to the whole passage first. Then repeat it, sentence by sentence. Mia found a mysterious package outside her apartment one Monday morning. She didn't remember ordering anything, and there was no name on the package. At first, she thought someone had made a mistake, but later, she found a note and an old key that led her to a locked room in the basement. Inside, she discovered photographs and an old notebook. Her neighbor, Mr. Harris, finally told her the truth. The woman in the photographs was his sister, and she had hidden important information in the room many years earlier. Mia helped him uncover the mystery, and what had started as a strange package became an unexpected story about trust, fear, and the past. Now, let's shadow it. Mia found a mysterious package outside her apartment one Monday morning. She didn't remember ordering anything, and there was no name on the package. At first, she thought someone had made a mistake, but later, she found a note and an old key that led her to a locked room in the basement. Inside, she discovered photographs and an old notebook. Her neighbor, Mr. Harris, finally told her the truth. The woman in the photographs was his sister, and she had hidden important information in the room many years earlier. Mia helped him uncover the mystery, and what had started as a strange package became an unexpected story about trust, fear, and the past. Excellent. Now think about the story again. Mia didn't know what was inside the package. She didn't know who had left it. She didn't know what the key opened, but she kept asking questions. She followed the clues, and eventually she discovered the truth. You can use the same idea when you learn English. You don't have to understand everything immediately. Sometimes you will hear a word you don't know. Sometimes a sentence will seem difficult. Sometimes you won't understand a speaker the first time. Don't give up. Look for clues. Listen to the words around it. Try to understand the situation. Then listen again. Little by little, the meaning becomes clearer. That's how your English grows. One sentence at a time. One story at a time. And one practice session at a time. Now, before we finish, choose 3 expressions from today's episode. For example, that's strange. I had no idea. I needed someone I could trust. Say each one again. Use your own examples. Don't just memorize them. Make them part of your English. And remember, when you learn through a story, you're not only learning vocabulary, you're learning how English works in context. You're hearing how sentences connect. You're practicing pronunciation. You're building speaking confidence. And you're training your brain to understand English more naturally. So listen again later. Shadow the story again and try to tell the story in your own words. You don't have to remember every detail. Just remember the main idea. A mysterious package, an old key, a locked blue door, and a secret from the past. I'm Alex. Thank you for practicing with me today. Keep listening, keep shadowing, and keep discovering new English, one story at a time. I'll see you in the next episode of Learn English Daily.